I'm Finney, your host on Another Perspective. And this program, we focus on the Black, Brown, and Asian communities. More and more, we're finding that these communities tend to be marginalized, and we have to worry and be concerned about the issues that they are confronted with. My friends, there are a number of things that we have to cover today. Top of it is, of course, Congressman Robin Kelly. Congresswoman Robin Kelly. Guess what? She has decided that she's going to work aggressively to strengthen the U.S. economy for working families and encourage job growth. Now, I'm going to say this, my friends, we desperately need jobs here in the city of Chicago and the state of Illinois, but also we need more and more jobs in the United States of America. Now, I'm not speaking about other countries or places that may be suffering also, but right now we're focusing on trying to make sure that we get jobs in the city of Chicago, jobs in the state of Illinois, and Congresswoman Robin Kelly is pushing a new jobs initiative. She's working through the Congressional Black Caucus, where she is the co-chairman of the Congressional Black Caucus, and they're using their leadership to work with the National Newspaper Association, that's the Negro Newspaper Associations, to try to build up a head of steam for more jobs. But I want to say this, my friends, here in the city of Chicago, you got to remember that we are down at this particular point when it comes to jobs. Let me give you a horrifying statistic. At this moment, for the age group of males, 17 to 24, 3 out of 4 are out of school or out of work. That's a bad, bad sign for us. And we've got to do more in order to generate jobs for our African American youth. If you want to make sure that we can stop the violence in the African American community, and those where there's a high incidence of crime, obviously it's followed with a high incidence of poverty. And guess what? If you give a kid a job, you can take the gun. And I'm going to say this, they will put the guns down when you give them something productive to do. I applaud our police department and all the efforts being done by now the sheriff's department to help reduce the crimes. But I got a better solution. In the long term, let's make sure that our young people have jobs. We want to thank Congresswoman Robin Kelly, and the Black Caucus for moving aggressively to get jobs and open up job opportunities for our African American youth. Hey, look, I'm going to have to take a short break in a minute, but I'm going to try to squeeze something else in before I take a break. We also want to talk about, for just a minute, we're going to talk just a moment about the fact that the Amazon, the city of Chicago has decided to try to encourage Amazon to locate their massive 5 million square foot new complex here in the city of Chicago. And we're going all out. And there's an area very close to the African American community, very close, if I should say, to the Bronzeville community where we are. That's around 12th, between 12th and I believe it is 12th and 22nd Street. There's a huge vacant rail lot right out there. And how about that? If we could get some jobs, and we can get Amazon to locate there, guess who gets to have the jobs? You got it. You'll have some black and some brown and some Asian people with those jobs. And those are the people, my friend, that need the jobs. In particular, the African American community needs jobs, as well as the brown American community needs jobs. And of course, we want to make sure that our Asian brothers also get a fair shake and getting some jobs. I'm going to have to take a short break, and when I come back, I'm going to continue our conversation. Thank you so much, and stick with us. You see what I'm doing now?
Yes.
I'm putting a black twist on everything.
Yes.
All right? So you got to make sure that when you put these stories out here, we got our own little twist on them. And Joe won't go to Robin Kelly. I've dealt with her. But here's the thing. Joe, Congressman Robin Kelly, she goes to the meet with the editors at the Chicago, Chicago Crusader. At the max, their circulation is 5,000. But but my point is, she's spending her time there.
And
because she doesn't know to come to us. Hey, my friends, this is Leon Finney, and I am here again to deal with the issues that I think we've got to deal with on our moment here. Chicago, my friends, is facing another property tax increase. This is gonna be a toughie one. We're faced with another property tax increase. Now, this increase is gonna hit us in 2020. There will be a major need for additional funds to pay for our municipal employees. And already we know that our budget is strained. That means the government is not taking in enough money in order to pay for vital services like police and fire pension funds. And that means that we can see there's a need to raise $297 million, or 36% in 2020. Guess what? We are just 2 months away, 3 months at the max away from 2018. This means, my friends, that we're gonna have to tighten our belts, I guess, and do something that helps us get through. But there is an old adage, and let me put it to you straight. There's 2 things in life that you will not avoid. One is death, and the other is paying taxes. I don't care who you are or where you are, those factors do play out, as long as you are a human being. We're not gonna avoid paying taxes, and we might not be able to avoid paying an additional property tax. But what we can avoid, my friends, and listen closely, those in the city of Chicago for sure, we know that this last year, when the new property tax was announced by the Cook County Board, Cook County Assessor, Joe Barrios, it included a tax that went throughout the city, but it hit the black community the hardest. Why is it that if you own a home in Chatham, or you own a home in the black community, or you own real estate in the black community, so in some instances you are paying twice the amount of taxes that people who live in other communities pay? Now, we may not be able to avoid paying taxes, but we can avoid having our taxes unequal. We can avoid having a discriminatory tax. There ought not to be a tax because you are more in the black community than the white community. There should be a fair tax, and we can live with a fair tax, even if the fair tax is an increase. But what we cannot live with and will not live with is a tax that discriminates disproportionately against the black community and the brown community. That's got to stop, and it's got to stop now. And so, I want to simply say this as a warning: this community is only going to accept taxes that are fairly apportioned. And I want to say, by virtue of what we stand for fairness and equality. We stand for no discrimination. We stand for progress for everybody. And we do not believe that we should have a racist or racism should enter into the question or the formula when it comes to applying the property tax. Hey, this is what I think. You can maybe agree or disagree, but this is what we think here on this program. And we hope that you will share our thoughts. And if you need to, make sure that you let your aldermen and your members of the city council and the members of the Cook County Board, make them all know that you want to make sure if there is a tax increase, it's fair and equal. Hey, I'm going to have to take a short break, and when I come back, we're going to pick up our conversation.
Hey, Doc. I'll be leaving out. I'll be back.
Where you going?
I have roofing things I have to take care of.
Roofing free?
As best as it could be. But okay, is it live and vocally?
You see?
We're YouTube live right now, people.
Well, hello then.
Okay. Are we on?
Yes, we are still live on YouTube.
So should I say
and
okay.
Facebook.
Oh, I'm sorry. Y'all, I'm sorry we got off into something else. If you're on YouTube Live, we got into something else. But anyway, I do want to give a shout out. Hey.
Okay, we're getting ready to go back.
I do want to give a shout out to give a shout out to Dorothy LaVille. She's got a fine paper, and I want you to know that I read the paper, and she's an outstanding leader of the NNPA, and she's got a small paper here in the city of Chicago, but it has a giant impact. And what we want to do is we're trying to catch up, not undermine, but we want to trying to catch up with my dear friend Dorothy LaVelle, the publisher of the Crusader newspaper, as it relates to what we do. Now, here's the other side, my friends. The governor of the state of Illinois has announced that he is going to run for re-election. Yesterday, he made his announcement. Maybe there was no surprise to anyone. He vowed in his press statement and his announcement that he was going to keep fighting corruption. And my sense is that he's not joking. He's serving notice on both candidates, or all candidates running in the Democratic primary. He's serving notice that he is here to fight. Now, I just want to say this. I'm not going to take this man lightly, and the Democrats, including me, are going to have to adjust to the fact that this man is the governor of the state of Illinois, and he has decided to fight to be retained as governor of the state of Illinois. That means he's going to work, he's going to spend money, and he's going to organize. This is nothing to take lightly. It would have been better for the Democrats that are scrambling to over each other, be it JB or be it Mr. Kennedy, to take note of this. And I'm going to say this. We didn't take seriously Donald Trump when he ran for president of the United States of America. The Democratic establishment across this United States of America assumed that Mr. Trump was a joke. And guess what? Who has the last laugh? Mr. Trump is the president of the United States of America. He was not taken seriously by his Democratic opponents. And at the end of the day, they suffered at the polls. And now you have Mr. Trump as the president of the United States of America. Equally, you have now a sitting governor that has enormous executive power. My prediction is that Mr. Browner will be no joke. He'll be tough to beat. And if JB wants to beat him, or if Mr. Kennedy wants to beat him, they better get busy getting a campaign organized, not just trying to figure out ways to spend money on polls or spend money in the media. You gotta build a better organization. I was there helping Mr. President Barack Obama when he was a candidate, both for the United States Senate as well as when he ran the first time and the second time for president. And the way he won was not so much being conscious of narrowly focused on polls. He built a strong organization at the ground level. JB and Kennedy, watch Mr. Browner. He's going to do just that, and I'll tell you something else. He's going to use his executive power as governor to do things that he did not do during his administration, during the last 4 years. You can watch him pick you apart if you want to. But I predict that if you want to win this race, you got to take Governor Bruce Rauner seriously. He is no joke, and his campaign is going to be tough to beat. And now I'm going to say this, and I'm going to close. I believe in the democratic system of government. I believe that any election ought to be open to the people and for the people to participate in it equally. But I also believe that the voters have to be organized. And they have to be organized precinct by precinct, ward by ward, township by township, city by city, by the superior candidate. And whoever that is, be it Bruce Rauner, or be it J.B. Pritzker, or be it Kennedy. Who's ever got the best organization, that's who's going to win, and that's going to be in spite of the party. And you can run and tell that. This is Leon Finney. Run and tell it.
You are good.
And we're